The Behind Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. Do you have a little one and need a stroller for your next Disney vacation? Then Kingdom Strollers has the stroller for you. They've got a great variety of well-maintained strollers that fit any need. Go to their website and check out the Sydney Mini Double, the City Mini Single, or any one of their wide selection of great strollers. They also have crib and bedding rental as well. During every one of my Disney vacations, I can't go a couple of minutes without seeing a happy young guest in a Kingdom stroller that is followed by a parent that knows they made a great stroller rental decision. Want to see how Kingdom Strollers can help you? Go to their website at kingdomstrollers.com. That's kingdomstrollers.com. This is Mr. Chris, and I love a good cup of coffee anytime throughout the day. In fact, I like my coffee hot or cold, brewed in my single-serve pod coffee maker or in a French press. I even like my coffee both iced and even cold brewed. Regardless of how I decide to enjoy my Java, there is only one Java that I truly enjoy, and that is Expedition Roasters. Not only do I love their traditional brews such as Route 66 Tire Fix and Dark Side Roast, I love their flavors such as Bob Slitter's Brew, Charming Chocolate Cherry, and Happily Never After. To me, their coffees are never bitter, and I enjoyed every flavor I've ever tried. And did you know that Expedition Roasters also carries some of their flavors in decaf? They're perfect for that afternoon cup. You also have to check out their different teas as well, which are great, hot or iced. When you're ready to enjoy the best in pop culture-inspired coffee and teas, check out expeditionroasters.com. Are you looking for a travel agent who has over 20 years of experience to take care of your Walt Disney World vacation, or your Disneyland vacation, or your Disney Cruise Line vacation, or even those non-Disney vacations? Contact Mickey Adventures by Brandy. Her services are fee-free, and she can take care of all the details for you. You know, things like ADRs and fast passes for you as well. Mention the show and get a Disney gift card if you book a 3-night or longer Disney vacation with park tickets with her. Contact Brandy at mickeyadventures.com. That's BRANDI at mickeyadventures.com, or give her a call at 774-400-3541. To you live from our studios on the East Coast and in the Midwest, it's the Behind Ears podcast, because everybody does Disney differently. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Behind Ears podcast. How's everybody doing today? It's Thursday Eve. Finally got out of the habit of saying Friday Eve. It's Thursday Eve, and a lot of things are going on here this first week of December. I mean, let's face it. It's December. I actually still heard someone cut their grass the other day during the day. What is up with that? Seriously, it's the Midwest. People should have their snowblowers ready. Well, maybe that's the thing. We haven't had snow yet. Maybe that's because people are still cutting grass. Maybe that is just one of those things. And yet I still laugh at my good friend Chris. It says it was 35 degrees this morning in freezing cold Orlando. I'm sorry, Chris. I love you, brother. I don't feel bad for you one bit. You know, where Carol, she has 2 feet of snow in New Jersey. So what can you say? Sometimes you just got to let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Okay, well, I'll probably get dinged on copyright for that one. But hey, tonight we've got a really cool, totally relaxed episode going on. I'm really looking forward to a chat with these two wonderful, wonderful people. And quite honestly, I hope you are too. And I hope that you feel free to interact down in the doobly-doo. That's my phrase for the comment section, or even in a sidebar if you're over there watching us over on YouTube. But by all means, we are going to have a great time tonight, because I welcome to the studio Leann and Mandy, the Levin sisters. Hello, my friends. How are you tonight?
Hi. We're tired. We are tired. We spent the day at the Children's Museum here in Indianapolis with our children, and then had prayer at church tonight. And now we're here with you. But it's okay. We have caffeine.
You definitely had a busy day, and the Children's Museum down in Indianapolis is absolutely a fabulous, fabulous museum. That and I also like the Indiana State Museum right there in the middle of downtown as well. Is also another fabulous.
Yes, I've been to that. I don't think you've been there. I've never been there. No.
What was cool is because I was a member of the Museum of Science and Industry here in Chicago, I was able to get in to the Indiana State Museum for free as well. And so when my daughter was still going to school down there, I went to go visit them and so on. We got to go to the museum there. Really nice place, really nice museum. Really liked it. So, by the way, everybody, just in case you do you plan on wanting to go out to Indianapolis next fall, late summer, early fall, for the Indy Disney meet? Seriously, there's so much to do in Indianapolis. Such a great city. So let's just say I go to Indianapolis and spend more time down there than I do downtown Chicago. That is the absolute truth. So it is just one of those things. So first off, because we have so many new listeners.
Yes.
Since the last time you've been here, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do within the Disney community. And yeah.
Okay, well, we're the Lemon Sisters, and that was our maiden name, and we are sisters.
Yes, we look alike.
Yes, and we started out in the Disney community about, how many years has it been? Six years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah. Oh,
we started doing just YouTube videos of planning trips, and that was when you only just had one kid.
Yeah.
And now I have 3 and she has 2. So our channel has grown on YouTube. We give tips and tricks, how to, budget friendly do it with kids, do Disney with kids. A lot of people think you have to be ballers to have a Disney trip, and it's not true. Yeah. You can even stay on property and it still is, we can help you make it affordable.
Yeah. And then but we show how to go as a large family. So like we travel in packs. So all of us go together with all the kids and 2 double strollers and, from grandma and grandpa going to the youngest, and it's just, and uncles and
we show it all, the meltdowns and everything, not just from the kids.
So that's a good question. What, between the 2 of you and your both of your families, what is the age span of your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
Libby just turned 8 on Sunday, December 1st. And the youngest is William, or AKA Squish. Mm-hmm. And Squish is
4 months.
Is 4 months.
That's right.
So we have 8, 5 and a half, 5, 4, almost 5. She'll be her oldest will be 5 in January, and then one that just turned 3-year-old boy, and then the 4 month.
Yeah.
So you with all of them. So you definitely have a pretty nice span. In fact, little Mr. Squish. The funny part about that is that that I kind of brings back memories, because my daughter was just about my daughter and my son are 10 years apart.
Oh, wow.
And so
we're 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And as I say, God has a sense of humor. And, so the funny part is that, we got to experience Disney. Both my daughter started going there when she was 7, had a few years without a brother. And now, then we had, John did 3 trips before he was 3.
Yeah.
Something like that, including a cruise. And so, I mean, it's kind of interesting. You're gonna definitely see this again through an infant's eyes, and I think that's actually really cool. Some of the best trips we had is when he was, small, and we had to take our time.
Yeah.
So, now one of the things, if everybody, since they didn't necessarily touch on this, I have to brag for my friends here for a minute. Because the other day during Small Business Saturday, I gave these wonderful people a really nice plug, because I think they sold themselves short here just a moment ago. Because one of the things that I know most about these wonderful ladies is that they have this wonderful candle company that they have created Disney-inspired scented candles that I will tell you right now, I honestly think that they are the best smelling, longest lasting, and best value for your dollar when it comes to candles. I always mix this up. Right there, people on the podcast can't actually see me doing this. That there is a churros scented candle that's been burning for a couple hours. My whole room right now smells like a big, gigantic churro, which is almost like a big, gigantic cinnamon hug.
Right.
I mean, seriously, it is spot on for such a wonderful, wonderful scent. And actually, I was telling them before the show, at the Indie Disney meet, I actually got the Main Street Bakering scent, and I got to tell you something. This also, I've burnt it down almost all the way down to the bottom, and yet it still smells amazing. And the fact of the matter is, the reason why I bring this up is because I have tried so many candles, and because I do like burning candles, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have my window's not open. So my room kind of gets a little stuffy, and I really love to have some nice scents while it's all set up. I absolutely love their scents. All of them smell so natural. You guys do a great job with that. Because you know how sometimes something's really outgoing. It's really harsh.
Well, we do a lot of, so we've been doing candles for about 15 years. And
really? Has it been that long?
It's probably been a little longer than that, but conservatively 15 years. And they weren't always Disney. And I made candles for a while. And then one day I heard somebody talking about Disney candles, and I went, wait, what? How come I never thought about that? That was it was like just a light bulb, like, duh. And I was like, I'm sure I called Mandy, was like, okay, we have to make the candles. They have to go, and they have to be Disney. So then we pulled everything back and said, all right, let's look at what we have and what are the smells. So some of the most popular smells that I actually have, that are not in the Disney community, that people don't really buy that much, but is one of the best selling candles that I have locally that people buy here, is the creme brulee. And the creme brulee, so I was like, well, if people love this, well, I need to find a way that it's on Disney. So I started searching where they serve creme brulee at Disney World. And I found that the Tomorrowland Terrace dessert party is where one of the places that they have a really good creme brulee. So I was like, okay, well, we've got this one. The baked apple pie. Every time we went to Mickey's PhilharMagic and they shoot you with the apple pie scent, I was like, duh, because apple pie is one of those other ones. And you know what? A lot of people don't really buy those. They're not the most popular of my candles that go out, but I'm telling you, they're some of the best scents that there is.
I'll tell you, the apple pie ones that are in the wax melts are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, I found out that my neighbor gave my wife an extra wax melt jar, candle light type of thing.
Right.
And so it is actually slated for me. And I just have to clean off a little spot in this little mess behind me. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few of those little Mickey shaped melts there and make this place smell like apple pie. The only problem of it is I am a little concerned that I'm going to get hungry.
It does make you hungry.
Although, what if this is just a thought, folks?
Mm-hmm.
I get hungry from the apple pie. All I need is a thing of shaky whipped cream.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get hungry, just go.
There you go.
I love the idea. Do it sugar-free stuff, or the coconut milk one is actually really good too.
Oh yes.
But now I didn't realize that you were doing candles for so long, but it's only been a little bit of that time has been Disney related. I think that's
so only about 4 years have been Disney related.
Yeah. And Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, but and we do in the wax melts, we've only started doing those. It's been 2 years now that
we
we've been
introduced
doing
it at the Indie Disney Meet, didn't we?
Yeah, 2 years ago at the Indie Disney Meet is when we debuted them.
Mhm.
And fun fact, they are actually the exact same formula, same wax and everything that we do the candles in. So it's that concentrated, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we've been doing it for long. It took me about 3 years to come up with the exact wax combination, scent, colors, all of that, because I refuse to sell a bad product. And that, I hate saying it like that because that sounds cocky and that's not what I want to say, but I stand by it, that they're good product. And I also wanted to make it affordable, because I know if it's out there and it's outrageously priced, that doesn't make very much sense. So our wax melts are only $5 for 8 little Mickey shaped heads, and our candles are $14 on our Etsy shop.
And the thing of it is, there are other, I mean, let's face it, this, I know this, our listeners know this. There are other people that sell Mickey scented candles, and they don't last as long. And quite honestly, they really honestly don't last as long. I burn my candles at least 8 hours a day because, I usually come in, light it up, and then when I'm done with my day, I put the top on and let it go. The thing of it is that there are so many other places, both, the handmade candles, the Disney inspired candles, as well as commercial candles for that matter. I mean, you can buy a cheaper candle, but it doesn't last as long. You can buy a more expensive candle, especially within the Disney realm, and it's not going to last as long. I mean, I know a lot of people buy candles for decoration. Some people buy it because their power keeps going out. I buy it. I mean, I know this, and I know Jess knows this as well. She's watching right now.
Yeah.
Like for example, she's saying here the candles. Well, she says cancels because spell check is a demon. The candles last forever. She says she has one from the Indie Disney Meet 2 years ago, and she finally finished it. I know that she alternates her scents throughout her house, and it was really kind of cool. But also, Carol actually has a question here for you guys. She's asking, have you ever thought about doing a Florida orange blossom scent?
We have not. And here's probably why we have not done that, is because we already have an orange scented one, which is Soarin' from Soarin' First Edition. That's when you went over the orange fields. So that one is a very strong orange scent. So if you need your orange fix, that's it. And I don't think that, I don't know how it would be different.
Orange blossom, yeah.
The orange blossom. If you have a suggestion, please let me know, because I'm always up to doing new things and finding new ones. And a lot of people have asked about different ones. And
Yacht Club is one. Just
Yacht Club.
We have heard a lot.
So and so some of the places, so maybe I should say this. This is how we kind of come up with the scents. And I find, like, we do things like when Star Wars, all of that was happening down in the parks. I said, okay, I'll be ordering.
Yay, Carol.
Well, wait, Carol, because I'm going to have a little sale for y'all. So, but wait, there's more. But so when we're down at Disney, we go and we smell things and we say, oh, that's it. Like when we stayed at Pop 2 years ago, I kept walking through and I'm going, oh my gosh, what is this smell? I love it. Oh my gosh, I just need to. And so we couldn't figure out what it was. So then we went over to the to some of the cast members and I said, what is the smell that y'all are pumping in? And they were like, it's called Mango Madness. So then I ordered a whole bunch of different mango scents and I said, I need to figure out which one I think smells just like it. And there's the dark side. And so we said, there we go. And we found that. Oh, Chris.
Put the kids to bed. Stop playing.
Right. So, but the Yacht Club, I don't know what that smells like. So I have to come up with what y'all think or go down there and figure it out myself.
Yes.
But like the Star Wars one, we did a dark side and a light side when Star Wars Land opened up and the
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge.
Uh-oh.
Yes, that. I
She's
even
the
went
sister
there.
that doesn't know Star Wars.
I even rode all those Star Wars.
the one ride that they had up there.
But I went through the whole place. Twice. We did it twice. And I had the milk.
We'll get to that in just a minute because we got a lot of different things to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, well, you definitely have to do a road trip, and now it sounds like you have to do a road trip in the spring so you can both, get an idea of what the yacht club smells like as well as smell with orange blossoms blossoming.
Yes.
I will tell you this. Orange blossoms, at least my experience, it does smell like a very lightly scented orange. It's kind of funny because like the apple blossoms don't smell anything like apples to me. Yeah, but it's really different. But they have a very floral scent for what it is. Now that's just me. My nose is different than a lot of other people's. Well, you'll see. A few other things here, really quick. Chris, whoops, wrong one. Oh, Mary is very sensitive to smells. She might have to try one. I would probably say for someone who wants a little bit less of a smell, I think the wax melts are actually the way to go. In some cases, because you can control it a little bit better.
You do. And now we're going to get a little scientific. If you look at my candles, you will notice what is different also is that they have 2 wicks in them. And so when you light something on fire, this is a technical term, it throws the scent. So that is what helps make it so fill your room up.
Sure.
The wax melts are softer in the scent because you're not lighting them on fire. And so therefore it still puts out a good scent, but it's not nearly as strong as what a candle is. So Mary, that may be super great.
Is there a smell that you would suggest for her?
I would suggest light side, which is a white tea and ginger.
That's a really good one
it's
for
really
light
good.
scented.
It's soft. It's still good and strong, but it's a softer, calmer scent. Another one would be the Floridian, which is a spa type scent. It's like a lemongrassy type. And those 2 are ones that are more of they're my chill ones.
They're really good though.
Okay. And she said she'll try some wax melts and gives you her thanks on that.
Yeah.
Chris also mentions Rome burning is his all-time favorite. He says he's got to get another one soon. He says it's amazing. My house smells like spaceship Earth for months.
Right?
That's awesome.
I think that's pretty awesome. And now also for him, he's like the wax melts for him is the only way to go because he's in the fire.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
And, there are people. I still have the candles on a little heat-proof tile because it is sitting on a wood shelf behind me, and I always have it on a little heat-proof tile. So just in case I'm stupid and let it go a little bit too far, it doesn't necessarily start heating up the bottom and then heating up, of course, that wood. Everybody really, if you're going to burn candles, especially during this holiday season, which more people do during this time of the year than any other time of year, please do it safely. That is your public service announcement from Mr. Chris.
It says it on the bottom of your candle too.
Yeah, it does. So there you go. How many people actually read the bottom? You should. But no, that is absolutely really cool. So let's kind of we'll definitely give you guys a little bit of a chance to pass along pass along additional information with that towards the end. We'll do that. I will tell you guys if you have any questions in regards to what they have scent wise or anything. First off, they got a great Facebook page. And at the same time, they're very responsive to their messages and so on. Definitely ask them if ask them about specials, ask them about scents, especially if you're thinking of something a little bit outside the box. As Jess said, they do a great job of shipping it out. Let me ask you this really quick: if someone wanted something from, if you have it in stock and you can get it out, what is probably the latest that you would suggest ordering by if they wanted to get it before Christmas?
December 21st is what the different carriers are telling us that is the last day to send out. But I definitely think by the 19th is going to be to make sure that we can get them made, because everything is custom made. So as soon as I get the order in, some things I have in stock, but mostly it is hand poured. And we usually say 1 to 2 weeks, but I understand everybody wants them as Christmas presents, and they're great. A lot of people give them as, coworker gifts and gifts for teachers. They're just a perfect little thing. So, but yeah, definitely get them in. The orders have been coming in, and we've been very blessed this season, and to have a lot. And it's awesome because you just keep it turning.
It's great to know that anybody who orders something is going to get a really super fresh candle. I mean, it's been sitting on a shelf forever and ever. Amen type of thing. It's going to be a very fresh candle. It's going to have all that scent ready to go. So I'm glad that you kind of also mentioned a little bit about the whole light side, dark side bit, because I wanted to ask you guys, today, obviously, as we're recording this, there's a lot of people that are getting ready to get up at the crack of dawn to check out Rise of the Resistance over at Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios. And so what I have to ask, first off, are you guys and your families pretty big Star Wars fans? I have to ask that first.
We are. Myself and my husband are. We actually walked down our march down the aisle in our wedding to the Imperial March. So we were pretty big Star Wars nerds. On the complete opposite, you can ask Leann who Jar Jar Binks is, and she would know.
I do. He's that guy with the ear things.
Oh, good job.
Because we got a whole bunch of those things.
Star Wars Land for her. Yes, she got to go experience Galaxy's Edge. We were there, and I did not.
A week before the Indie Disney meet, so we were there in September, the beginning of September, like a week after it opened, and like Mandy and Chris didn't get to go.
Oh, it killed me, Mr. Chris. Oh,
and so and we were down there for 10 days. So it was us, my husband and my 2 girls, and then Uncle Nick was with us, and Mom was with us, and none of us are Star Wars people. And I just kept laughing the whole time. I'm going, I get to go to this and you don't.
It was so wrong.
And so so we vlog all of our stuff. So we haven't got to the Hollywood Studios days yet. I think today we started Magic Kingdom Day. So, but the whole time I'm just laughing. People are just like looking at me because I'm like, oh, look, there's this thing over here.
Like, yes, Leann, that's the Millennium Falcon.
I was like, that's it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I was like, that thing on the map. It's that thing. The thing.
I said I have to taste the milk. I knew that, but I don't know. I don't even know. I don't. I should.
So half of us are Star Wars people.
Okay, so definitely a mix within the family. But I will ask then, Leann, did you try both the blue and the green milk?
I did.
And
so the green milk tasted like I was eating flowers, and it was ucky. But I like the blue. We all kind of just, collectively tasted, and everybody kind of liked the blue. I don't think Mom did really, but the girls really liked the blue milk, but it was not the green milk.
Yeah, I will say the green tasted like it was filtered through potpourri.
Yes, exactly.
That sounds horrible.
It was one of those cases. And the blue milk, to me, I don't know. It seems like everybody who tries the blue milk, they come up with a different description for it. It's almost like it adapts to your taste buds, and you get a different sensation for it no matter what.
Now we did.
They did FaceTime me while they all drank the milk.
And we rode. This is so bad. What's the name of the ride we rode?
Oh, right.
Smuggler's Run.
Smuggler's Run.
I waited 25 minutes, which I thought was excellent. Nobody else would ride it because we met some of our friends, and they told us that this lady said her husband threw up. on it because it jarred him so much. And I was like, oh, great. So all the rest of the adults have like can't twirl and spin. So me and my daughters went on it. They got to be the pilots, and it was so cool. Like, I didn't really know all this stuff, but it was so cool. I was like, you're going to love it. I don't even know about this stuff.
Which, says a lot to Disney. So even if you don't know the franchise of Star Wars, I don't know how you don't, but
I have
it's still like, it was still an amazing experience.
Yeah, totally. It was really cool. And the girls loved it.
I'm glad you said that, Mandy, because I think there's, right after the Indie Disney meet, Danny and I went down, and fortunately I got to go through there twice. The first time was the day that I arrived. Unfortunately, Danny's flight was way super delayed and everything. Danny just had a really bad time with flights that whole entire weekend. And so I got to go down there a little bit and meet up with Chris and some other people. And the funny thing is that I really super enjoyed it. I think I want to do it. I want to go again because I know I missed a whole bunch of stuff. And now that Rise of the Resistance is open, and I've not heard a single person yet say anything negative or even comes close to a meh or anything of that sort. They just say it's jaw-dropping amazing. Well, the thing of it is that the cool part about Galaxy's Edge is that I really do believe that even non-Star Wars fans of any sort can actually have some fun in there. You may not necessarily know what everything is, and that means, yeah, sure, some of the story that's being told is going to probably be lost on the non-fan. I totally get it, and I understand that. But at the same time, it sounds like you still had a lot of fun going through there, even though, you're definitely a non-fan. Let me though ask this. I have to ask this question, and I'm going to put you on the spot. By going through there, does it give you a little inkling of an inclination to want to actually watch the movies now?
No.
Thank you for your honest answer.
I have actually seen every single movie, and probably more than once, especially the older ones. And then the one that's coming out, I will go see that one too.
All right, Skywalker. Okay.
I don't know its name, but we'll go see it because I do that. We go, and I enjoy them. I don't know. I'm not committed to them.
You know what? That's fine. To be honest with you, I think it's one of those cases where you don't need to see the movies or be that big of a fan to just enjoy this extra, galaxy, so to speak. It's one of those things where, what's the best way of putting it? I think the more that you do know, the more little things you can enjoy.
Yeah.
Such as every cast member there has a backstory. And if you ask them what their story is, Mandy's like, what?
I didn't know
this. There was this young woman cast member standing just a little bit beyond the entrance of Olga's canteen. And I asked her what her backstory was. I go, would you mind telling me your story? That's all I asked. She goes, absolutely. And her eyes lit up and everything else like that. And she started talking to me, and she gave me we had like a 3 to 5 minute conversation about basically what her backstory was, where she came from, the fact that, she has to commute off planet to come in and work for Olga. And it was kind of funny because I got into a type of character where I talked to her in the same way. I'm going, yeah, I know. I had a 45-minute commute on this big transport with a whole bunch of other people. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I said, I took 2 transports to get here today. And she's like, wow. And we had this conversation that if you try to do a little bit in character and use a little bit of the lingo, you can actually take that conversation further. the cast members there love their story. They love their craft. They love what they do. It was a heck of a lot of fun. And so Mandy, when you go out there,
Oh yes, I'm totally
try
gonna
to
do that.
that.
Previous to Leann going, I looked up like all the lingo, and I'm like, okay, so this is how you greet everyone. You say bright suns, and then when you see them leaving, and so I tried to get. I don't think she did any of it, but
no. And I was excited. I thought, oh, we're going to see all these people that I know walking around because that's what I had seen. But funny story, our mom was sitting waiting on us to get off the ride. She was FaceTiming you, wasn't she?
She was FaceTiming me, and like a bunch of characters started walking up, and oh my goodness, I just blanked his name. Chewbacca was right behind her.
He like came up and she goes, "That hairy guy."
That hairy shit. I was like, "Mom, it's Chewbacca behind you."
At least I know that one.
Yeah. But I hear now that they're in. I see Chris saying Rise of Resistance. So did Chris go today?
Chris did not go today. He had some insight information to it. Yeah, but he's like, it'll totally blow your mind. A lot of other people said the same thing. Chris will actually see it most likely this weekend.
Oh,
depending on a few factors. But he's actually going to most likely live stream over at the Behind Yours podcast page. So everybody, by all means, keep that in mind. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to blow people away. I actually had a cast member friend of mine who actually, knew a little bit more about it. He goes, dude, you gotta go see it when you go down there. You just gotta go see it. I'm like, okay, fine. That's like not like I was not going to go see it.
Right.
I look forward to actually seeing it with my son. My son is a gargantuan Star Wars fan. Like for example, okay. So like Mary asked the question, like, who is the guy who talks to you before you board? And I think it's Hondo, because he's kind of one of the traders. I didn't necessarily really know who he was for the most part. I guess you could say because I don't know every character. My son was like, "Oh, don't you know, Dad? He did this." And I'm like, it's going to be great. But yeah, it's Mary also makes the comment, the cast members told her that it was amazing and on Pandora level. Which if you think about it, Pandora, I think a lot of people thought Pandora was like the actual huge milestone and new bar that Disney set in a sense of detail. I personally think Galaxy's Edge up to that, and I think most of the BTEP crew would think that Flight of Passage is probably the best attraction that Disney has to offer right now. I said most because there are a couple of members of the team that are like, no, and that's okay. And the Smuggler's Run was good, was really, really good. I will definitely go on it again. I thought being a pilot was fun, and I will tell you this: the funniest line from the time that Danny and I did Smuggler's Run, we met up with a couple listeners. They were on the ride with us, and we were the pilots. They were behind us, and the funniest thing in the world, we were screwing up left and right. Okay, and we hear from the back, "You guys suck as pilots." And we all laughed our butts off, and that was a good time. That was a really good time.
And I felt bad for the people that rode with us because my girls went and go, "Can we be pilots?" I mean, who's going to tell them no? They're super cute. And I'm like, then the people were like, "Yes, go ahead." And they didn't know what they were doing. And it was just, I felt bad for the people who waited, and like if this was their first time riding, and then like these little kids are just hitting everything. It's like, sorry, people.
You could actually have some fun even if you're totally random at it. That's the neat part about it. And so, hey, you're not going to get out of here without talking about a food question as well. Your experience there. Did you try any of the food there at Galaxy's Edge?
I did not. Not.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what it was and it looked weird.
See, this is family trips where we're not together go totally different.
That is very true.
And so
Because-
since I wasn't there, so next time we all go together, like we'll make her try things.
Probably because they're
We're
the
the
foodies.
foodies,
They're
yeah.
the foodies. Like we had reservations for 50s prime time, so like I didn't want to eat because that was going to be a lot of food there, and so we were like, okay, we'll do the milk, and
And it was during food and wine too.
True.
And they didn't do food and wine.
we're really bad at Epcot. We're really bad at World Showcase. We're really
The
bad.
point of the story is the Lemon Sisters always have to go together.
We do.
We can never go apart.
I guess that's kind of the moral of the story, because it's like all I know is this. I think it would be a trip for your two families to go down, have me and my family go down, hang out with the rest of the BTEP crew down there at the same time, and just see how. And just here's what you have to do: you got to put a GoPro on each one of us.
Oh my.
You know, one for you, me and Chris and Jess, and just all of us go our own separate ways to do things for a couple hours at a park, and then combine all the footage together so it's perfectly synced, only to see how much different we all do Disney.
Oh,
I think that would be awesome. Jessica's all for it. She's like, Edmund team trip. You know,
We've been talking about a sister's trip forever. We're gonna make it happen eventually.
I say
I'm
we,
not having kids now, so we can just
I say we pull some resources together, rent some points, get a grand villa, or a tree house,
Oh, it'd be fun.
and do something crazy like that. Oh yes, I have big dreams. I don't have a big pocketbook right now.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's the problem.
One day.
So, Mandy, do you have a trip planned for?
No, we had a 10-year wedding anniversary trip planned for May. But then we bought our new house and then had the kid. And so the house has been draining those funds.
I understand. And actually, to tell you the truth, hey, listen, I completely get it. When I was building my house, I actually canceled the trip.
Yeah.
Because like you definitely know, when you get that new house, you kind of have to have some priorities. And there are some people that would probably shun me if I said, there are some other priorities other than Disney trips. And I know some people are probably hitting that unsubscribe button or that unlike button or this, that, and the other. But it's really true. There are some things where we have to adult, and
But we are going to go in September as a family.
So here's what we do. So we always go in the fall. So we usually go September, October time. It just depends on who gets to win the fight that year. Because
year,
I
yeah.
like going in September.
I like October.
I like free dining. I like us to go. I feel like it's not as busy and crazy. I'm not a Halloween person, so like the Halloween parties, that annoys me that I have to plan everything around that.
And I'm complete opposite.
She's complete opposite. She likes to go in October. She likes to go to all the Halloween stuff and the parties and stuff. So by the time it's this time of the year, we say, okay, let's kind of take a pull back from Disney-ish. And then we go, but on January, on New Year's Day,
Usually, yeah.
we go, and I've had a plan in place, and I make a presentation to the family. Sometimes it is a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I make movies with
Yeah.
I plan out, I'm the planner of the group. So usually they go and they have a complete agenda, even down to what we wear. So the GoPro thing would be super hilarious because I'd be like, bam, 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 you gotta go here, we gotta go here. It's cool and we're flexible, but I like to do everything. I have a list that nobody else sees about that has every ride in every park because I like to do every single ride in every park. I don't like to skip things. It's just the OCD in me probably.
Yeah.
But we sit down on January 1st and we say, this is what we're doing. Let's make a plan. And then we plan our trip for that year.
That's actually really pretty cool in the sense of, you're the ultimate planner. Mandy, you're the more relaxed.
Yeah, it would kind of use that word.
Yeah.
Until we get there, and then I'm not.
But usually that's how it happens.
But yeah.
When we get there, it's like, what's on the agenda? What are we supposed to do? And we've been doing this so long, like none of the rest of them even think about, I mean, Mandy does, and we consult each other, but everybody else in our crew is just like sheep.
Yeah.
They go and they kind of just go and say, where are we going now? Where are we going? Where are we eating?
Mhm.
And we know what everybody likes. So we always try to throw in new stuff and new places to eat and new things to do every time. Like this time, when we were down there, we went miniature golf. We did the miniature golf thing.
Oh, wow.
We
It's
hated
one thing I've never done, but I've always wanted
Oh,
to do.
it's so much fun.
I hated it.
Did you really?
Yes, you haven't
Oh.
seen the videos yet.
I haven't seen the videos.
It's
Me
awful.
and Chris went on our one of our anniversary trips with 4 kids and did the Christmas one.
You
did the Fantasia one, didn't you?
We did the Fantasia
Oh,
one.
yeah,
It was
that one's-
horrible.
Do the Christmas
The
one.
people were mean. It was just a bad
Aw.
thing. It was
So which mini golf did you go to?
the Fantasia one.
Oh, Fantasia Gardens. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was just not amazing. But I also got our mom uses a scooter when she's there. And I didn't mean to go off-roading, but I fell into a ditch. It was just a hard time. The little girl, we forgot our little passes at home back in the room because you didn't have to have them before, but now you do. And the girl wouldn't let all of us go. We had 4 tickets and there was 5 of us. And my 5-year-old was throwing a fit and she threw a club.
She's had some bad stories.
It was just a bad thing.
But the Fantasia Garden, I don't think is nearly. I think if you're gonna give it a try, I would say go to the Christmas.
Winter Summerland.
Yeah, Winter Summerland. Yeah,
Over by
that one was a blast.
over by which
She did
water?
it without kids.
I did it without kids, but I think the kids would have a blast because it's more just fun. It's just
We tried.
yeah.
But
And
it was hard to get there on buses because that's something different we did this year. This year we
It would
did not
be.
have a car.
That's true.
We flew, and that's the first time we've done that with the kids. It was their first time flying. So that was the logical one because we could take the bus to Swan and Dolphin and then,
Sure. Now, I was actually going to ask you if you guys, channeled your inner Griswold to do a road trip or if you flew, and you said this is the first time that you actually flew down there.
Yeah.
How did that go with such a large party?
Well, it was only, there was only 6 of us this time.
That's a large party. I mean,
See, there's usually 10 or 11 of us.
oh,
so,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was only my family, my mom, and Uncle Nick. So it was, he flew at a different time. So it actually, we flew out at 6 a.m. and we got there super early. We flew home at 6 or 7. Got home at 10 at night.
Mhm.
It was really, really great. And it was not the buses. I was a little nervous about them because we have a double stroller. So packing it up, and then my mom has a scooter. So all the gear that we had to have to function. But it worked out wonderful. It actually was we really enjoyed it. There was a couple things, when we're down there, we like to go to Sunny's Barbecue. And, some people are fans, but there's not one on property. So, and we're used to doing a Walmart run. And so we did Amazon Prime. So that worked out really nice.
Mhm.
So it was all these different things that we tried that some there was some hitch in some of them, but pretty much it went pretty smooth.
Jess was actually wondering, where did you guys stay?
We stayed at Pop.
Okay.
We've stayed there the last 3 times, 2 times. And we like it because our kids are little, so we still like it. Now that Mandy's family is at 5, we're going to have to up. Yes, the bus drivers are very awesome with the scooter, and we had a lot of fun with the bus drivers actually getting to sit and talk to them, and they were very, very helpful with it. So,
And the thing of it is, I want to go ahead and make this comment. A number of years ago, in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, it was 2006, and I remember that because I actually ran into something where it was probably the last year I did a cruise, and I took the moms, my mom and my mother-in-law with us, and had a great time on the cruise. But then we also did a couple days at Disney, and I got a scooter for my mom. And let me tell you something. It was the best investment I ever made in a mobility device of any sort. And, kind of like what Mary said about, she found the bus drivers to be awesome with the scooter. I have to say the same exact thing. My mom, to her credit, she doesn't normally get around on a scooter. And she actually got a scooter at Sam's Club and just, scooted around.
Yeah.
She managed to not run into anything. And so she did her practice, and the bus drivers were absolutely fabulous with the scooter. She probably had more people with other pedestrians not watching what they're doing. So it was one of those cases where I walked. I probably shouldn't have done this, and I probably would do this differently, next time if there was a next time with my mother-in-law. I kind of walked in front of my mom to kind of, blocked. And I knew that I could possibly get run over by mom. At least I know she still loves me. But but it was one of those cases where it was one of those cases where if anybody has, anyone that really needs to be able to get around, and you don't think that they're going to be able to handle multiple miles of walking throughout the day, it is something to definitely look into, because it will make the trip a whole lot more memorable if you're not tired.
It is essential for us. Our mom has been an amputee. She's lost part of her foot about 6 years ago. So walking for her, she can do it. She doesn't use a scooter here. She gets around just fine. Looking at her, you never know. But the amount of walking you do at Disney is just insane. So she can fracture her bones in her feet very easily. They're more frail. And so she has to be really careful. So she does that. My husband is a disabled veteran and has messed his knees up in the Air Force. And when he was when he was on an Army base, an ATV fell on him. So he messed up his legs that way too. And so sometimes the last couple of years he hasn't used one, but when the conditions are if it's hurting him, he'll rent one. And our dad would do it too. So at one time there was three of them that were on it. So we called them the scooter squad. And so our scooter squad, and the worst part is when they're lower. So if you're like, all right, we're going to Small World, they don't hear it. So you got to make sure whoever's standing with them, and they can see above everybody. It's just, it adds a fun element to it. But we would do that. If they were pulling back or something or trying to get through, we would just kind of stand and block off and, get all of this and say, okay, you have to walk through and, just go and they're going to go through. They're with us and there's three of them. I understand, but you've got to let them through. And we just made those human walls sometimes with that.
I can understand that. So we're getting towards the top of our hour. So before we do this, before we actually, end our time, which would be, it's just going to be a sad one because I don't want to necessarily stop. Best part of your trip, what do you think it was?
The best part of the trip, well, let me give you a backstory real quick,
Sure.
Is this was our first trip without our dad. So our trip last November, our dad passed away 3 weeks after that. And we stayed at Pop and it was all of us. And so I was very kind of like, how's it going to go? And, I didn't know if it would just be like, I'm be bawling my eyes out because every turn was a memory. We've been going, oh gosh, but they, but when we got there, we were checking in, and don't you know that as soon as my mom her band up to check in to Pop, they said, "Oh, Cliff," which is our dad's name. And she's like, "No, he's not here." And the woman said something, and she's like, "Well, actually, he passed away." And so the cast member, her name was Karen. And she said, "I'm so sorry." And she just was really precious. And she shared some very intimate details. Because we said, well, life is short and we want to enjoy. And we had great memories with him here. And so we wanted to enjoy it. And we were just trying to be positive, not cry. And we ended up crying. But but she shared how her daughter was sick. And she started crying. And it was this big hullabaloo. It was like we're all just bawling at the Pop desk. And she said, about 11 o'clock that night, now we had been up since about 3:30 in the morning. And at this time it's 3:30 or something like that in the afternoon. And by 11 at night, we were just exhausted. But we were up doing stuff, And so we hear this knock on the door. And that cast member had sent us a frame that said, how did it say it? Make memories with the people you love at Disney or something like that. It was just this beautiful frame, and she had given one to my mom and to myself. We ended up buying one for Mandy, and to put a picture of all of us of the last trip. And that was so precious of her. And that just was such a great bit of Disney magic just to set it all off. And I think that was there was a lot of really cool things. My youngest rode Space Mountain for the first time, which she was so crazy brave. She's 5. And I was a little scared. I had to hold her in. She's a jumper. I thought she'd just squirrel out of there. But it was so fun to do Smuggler's Run. It was the first time they rode Flight of Passage. So that was super cool. We got to do a lot of first time flying. We had a lot of firsts this trip, but more than anything, that precious Disney magic that cast member gave us just to start off our trip that was supposed to be super, super hard in our minds. And we had some turmoil during the trip that had happened on a personal level with us, but that just was such a precious, and that is not anything you can get in the parks. That was just something so precious to us. So that was my favorite part.
I will say this. I was fortunate enough to take the moms. I took both mom and my mother-in-law. I'm really blessed to be able to have a really good relationship with my mother-in-law. I mean, there's a lot of, you always hear the joke about the in-laws, right?
Yeah.
I joke about my mother-in-law quite a bit. The ongoing joke is that if I stop picking on her, it means I've stopped loving her. But in all seriousness, I'm so glad that I got a chance to basically take my mom and my mother-in-law with us. And, even up until the time that my mom passed, we always would have coffee on a Saturday morning and we would talk about those types of things. And it's those kinds of memories that I really do love it, because I feel like I can make unlimited memories with my family, whoever is there. And, I've said this before on the show. I'll say it again. It's one of the reasons why my vacations at Disney are my vacations at Disney. It's why I go radio silent. It's why, if anybody finds me at Disney, hey, please stop, say hi, take a selfie. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a button or some swag or this, that, and the other, but I don't announce where I'm at, because I'm concentrating on making those memories with my family. And, I will say that those are the touching memories. And it's, to be honest with you, you could probably make those kinds of memories anywhere, but they're just not as sweet.
Yeah.
Unless you're there at the place that makes everybody in your party happen. Yeah. That is something that I think is magical about Disney. I don't think that there's a lot of people that would dispute that. I love ending it on such a nice note. I do say, I'm going to try to flip through. There was one question that unfortunately I could. Here we go. I found the question. It didn't go out into the ether yet. Stephen wanted to ask him, going back to your candles here briefly, do you guys either have a Bay Lake Tower type scent or a Beach Club Villa scent?
I do not. Those are two that I have actually been researching. And so if you think about it and say, oh, it's this scent. This is what it should smell like. Because as many people have asked about it, they have different memories of what that scent is to them. So tell me what it is that you think it is.
Good.
And you can go onto our Facebook page. You can go onto send us a message on our Instagram or our Twitter, all the social media things. You can find all of that at thelemonsisters.com. LEMONS, lemons.
Yeah, make sure you do it plural because there's 2 of them there, as you see.
Yes, there is 2.
Well, excellent. Boy, I've really enjoyed our time. I always love hanging out with you guys. I have got to get down to Indianapolis sometime during the holidays just to say, hey, what's up?
Absolutely.
We'll have to go do something, grab a cup of coffee. I've done worse than drive an hour or 2.5 hours for a cup of coffee.
And it's not like we don't have any snow around here, so come on down because
we don't either. So now that I've said that, I'm gonna get really
yeah.
it's one of those things.
It is the season of giving, and so we want to give everyone because we're part of this community too, and we just love you guys. So from now until the end of 2020, anytime anybody on here, any of the viewers want to come and go to the Lemon Sisters shop and get you some candles, get you some wax melts. We have some Disney inspired t-shirts that are on there that I have designed. And if you want any of those, all you have to do is put in BTEP 20. And that will be good until the end of next year. So all of the rest of this year and all of next year.
And that will give you
20% off.
Very excellent. Let me go ahead and put that right up there for everybody to see. And that is their website, everybody, that you can get to. So that is first off, thank you so much for that. That is most excellent. Giving our listeners and our viewers a little bit of an extra holiday treat. That is most excellent.
Awesome. Well, and when you go on there, there'll be some banners and you can click on to find our YouTube channel and you can find our Etsy shop and all of our other stuff. Anything that's Lemon Sisters is on there. So you can find it all lemonsisters.com.
That is so awesome. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I love having you guys on. I'm so glad that we have all become friends through the common love of Disney, through meeting at the Indie Disney Meet, and of course, hanging out at the WDW community page. Yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. Thank you for being a part of the community. I'm going to go ahead and put you in our green room for one moment as I close this out.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks a lot. All right, everybody. I'm going to do the traditional pressing of the button, which of course means that there's some music that's going to play right now. You heard the show, and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net, and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home. All right, everybody. Thank you once again for joining us on this another live recording session of the Behind the Ears podcast. We are so thankful for you guys joining us here live, but also for you downloading the show and listening us through your favorite podcast app as well. Hey, you know what? In the time of sharing, share us out to your friends, to your groups, to anybody who is a Disney fan. Hopefully, they can enjoy this as well. Boy, oh boy, I can't believe this hour has gone by so fast. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at this. Thank you so much for joining us. And until we meet again, I hope y'all have an absolutely magical day. Take care.